Policy analyst at the Centre for Arms Control and Non-Proliferation, James McKeon, joins me now from Washington, D.C. James, great to have you with us. First of all, what do you make of Trump's statement that once the process of denuclearisation begins, it's pretty much over? Is that accurate?
That's not accurate at all. And in fact, the president kept saying that there was a comprehensive statement that was put out by the North Korean leader and himself, and that's simply not true. What this was a symbolic first step to hopefully, down the road, have diplomatic experts and technical experts hammer out a real agreement that can hopefully, ultimately, result in the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. What was said in that statement are simply broad things that the North Koreans have been talking about for decades. Denuclearization, better relations between the United States and North Korea, the repatriation of remains from the Korean War. This was a great symbolic first step, but it was not a concrete action whatsoever.
Now, even at the stage that North Korea disarms or physically denuclearizes, what happens, though, to the science? How does the US ensure that that isn't able to be shared with another country or regime?
Sure, and that's the most difficult part. The proliferation of potential nuclear materials from North Korea or expertise from nuclear scientists would be disastrous for the international community, and we have precedents for this. A.Q. Khan, a Pakistani nuclear scientist, had spread a proliferation network around the globe, and that resulted in nascent nuclear programs in Syria and other countries. So what we have to do here is have a permanent, irreversible agreement, and that can be done with the United States negotiating with North Korea, but it also has to be done with the rest of the international community. It means that International Atomic Energy Agency inspectors, the ones that were verifying and are continuing to verify despite the U.S. abrogation of the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, or also known as the Iran Nuclear Agreement. These people need to be there to verify that the North Koreans have dismantled their nuclear program and aren't continuing to have a clandestine one going forward.
Now, stopping the joint war games with South Korea is something that the U.S. has previously rejected as non-negotiable, saying that the exercises are a key element, of course, with its military alliance with Seoul, as well as maintaining a deterrent against North Korea. Why offer what's widely seen as a significant concession without having locked in any detail from Kim's side?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I can't get in the head of President Trump on that one. Offering up U.S. troops on South Korea or talking about reducing military drills, joint military drills between the United States and South Korea doesn't really make much sense since the North Koreans didn't give up anything in return. And clearly it blindsided the South Koreans as well as the U.S. military. The South Koreans put out a statement, or at least there was someone in the Blue House who said that they had no idea that this was happening. So it seems that President Trump is continuing his negotiating style that we've seen throughout his presidency and even before. He's shooting from the hip. Let's be clear, it is substantive and important that the North Korean leader and President Trump sat down. But if we're going to be giving up concessions without the North Koreans doing the same, I wouldn't say that that's substantive progress. I would say that that's dangerous not only for our own assets, but also for the people of South Korea.
All right, James McKeon, appreciate that insight from Washington, D.C.